Hello, welcome back to my channel. I'm Jamie B. I read a ton of books, and this is part 3 of my giant spring bag of books book haul. If you haven't seen the first 2 sections, you might want to check those out as well because I got a ton of books. And there shouldn't be any repeats among the 3 videos. So you get lots and lots of videos of books that looked interesting to me that I will probably be reading. And if any of them in any of these 3 videos are books that you think I really have to read next, drop a note in the comments about which books I should be zeroing in on for my next read. Because I will take that into account when assigning books to my TBRs for the coming months. I have already finished one, and I'm partway through another one. So I finished Brick Lane by Monica Ali. Or Ali? I think Ali. That one was really good. It was about a young woman who marries an older man in an arranged marriage that maybe he really liked her and maybe he just decided he needed to get himself a wife the way you get a refrigerator or something else like that, which was a little distasteful. But not the first book I've read with that kind of cultural content. Oh my goodness. Cultures in which you get yourself a wife like an appliance. Just, I'm never gonna like that. Anyway. But it was a really good book. So Bangladeshi girl who's trying to make sense of life in London with her spouse. So that was fun. And then the other one I've started is Amy and Isabel by Elizabeth Strout, which I found it as an audiobook, so I've been listening to it while doing admin stuff today. It's not bad so far. Sort of coming of age. Amy is the younger one, Isabel is her mother. And I don't know how it connects to any of the other books yet. So I don't know if it's like book 1 in the series. It is, though, the debut novel for Elizabeth Strout. So, it will also apply to a prompt for Escape the Readathon. Beyond that, I won't say what I'm going to be counting it for because secrets. Yes. But both of those have their uses for Escape the Readathon. So already I'm still just making my haul videos, and 2 books will be done from my haul by the end of tonight. So that's not too bad. I did get 2 more books that I'll start with off the bat that I've read before that were really good, and I don't know if I'll use them as presents for people or what, but they were neglected, and so I adopted them. Marshlands. This one I read last year, I believe, as a library book. It's not very long, and it's sci-fi, but not like spaceships sci-fi. It's like on an alien planet trying to make sense of the life forms there and whether they're intelligent or not and stuff like that. I found it really good. And I will probably make sure that my siblings read it now that I have a copy. The other one is a short story collection called Land of Big Numbers by Taiping Chen, which I love the cover of. I don't explicitly remember the stories, but I remember that I really liked it. So I got both of these. They'll probably be presents for somebody or something like that. So not all the books I got were books that I need to read. Although I might reread both of these at some point, especially if there's a prompt for a reread, because neither one of these is very long. So I'm going to set these in a different spot so I don't lose track of them. I'll be right back. Okay, so the rest of the books I've got stacked up on my desk. And yes, the desk is reoccupied by new stacks of books. But they will be going somewhere better after this video is filmed. And I've got my chair repopulated with books behind me. And then I've got 2 boxes of books. So that's going to be the order of business for this video. Books on the desk, books on my chair, 2 boxes of books. And then we're done with the haul. And then I can figure out how many books there are. And yeah, come up with a total. That will be fun. So let's get into the books and see what I've got for my TBRs for the near future. The Giant's House by Elizabeth McCracken. I know it was pretty popular for a while. I was seeing the cover everywhere. But I haven't read it yet. The Paperboy by Pete Dexter, by the National Book Award winning author of Paris Trust, I believe. Yeah, Paris Trout, maybe. The lighting here is maybe not the best either. And I'm getting old. I really am getting old. I need to check out reading glasses maybe. But Paris Trout. Anyway. Here we go. Paperboy. Know nothing about it. It just looks like a book that I might enjoy, maybe. The Tree of Life, a novel by Hugh Nissenson, with an introduction by Margot Jefferson. I've seen it around. I don't know why. And this one on the back says it was nominated for the National Book Award. That may be it then. It may be one I saw on the National Book Award website. So. A Ship Made of Paper by Scott Spencer. National Book Award finalist. An exact replica of The Figment of My Imagination by Elizabeth McCracken. That is quite the title. Aloft by Chang-Rae Lee. The Abundance by Amit Majmudar. The Confession of Edward Day by Valerie Martin. The Stalin Epigram by Robert Little. Dreams of My Russian Summers by Andrei Makin. Good Harbor by Anita Diamant, author of The Red Tent. I think I have a copy of The Red Tent, but I'm not sure. Right, these are too heavy now. The Mapping of Love and Death by Jacqueline Winspear. The Stories of Bernard Malamud. Black Girl, White Girl by Joyce Carol Oates. The Office of Desire by Martha Moody. Four Letters of Love by Neil Williams. Adam by Ariel Schrag. The River Midnight by Lillian Nattall. The Singing Fire by Lillian Nattall. I believe this is historical fiction, both books. But I don't know anything by the author so far, so I'm just going by the cover, but they look historical fiction-y. I Could Tell You Stories, Sojourns in the Land of Memory by Patricia Hampel, a National Book Critics Circle Award finalist. Shirley by Susan Scarf Morell, which I've heard of, I think. In the Cut by Susanna Moore. Claire Marvel by John Burnham Schwartz, author of Bicycle Days and Reservation Road. And this is an ARC. And I think I have Reservation Road. I'm pretty sure I have that one. Bread Givers by Anzia Jezierska. And this one, I think it's an award. Maybe. It might just be a 25-year edition of it. But yeah, I don't know what exactly that is for because it's not an award. Yeah. So that one's interesting. We'll find out why it got a little medal on it. Design Flaws of the Human Condition by Paul Schmidberger. I like the cover on this one too. Light Housekeeping by Jeanette Winterson. Web of Angels by Lillian Nattall. Nice classic, just a little thicker. 20 Years After by Alexandre Dumas. It's not very long, though. I was looking for 1,000-page books. I don't think I got any that were over about 800 pages long. So, yeah, I'm just going to have to accept that I don't have a lot of books that are that long. So I'm going to put these down. I'll be right back. Okay. So we still have a few more on the desk, and then we'll get into the chair and the 2 boxes. Land That Moves, Land That Stands Still by Kent Nelson. Which I got partly because that landscape reminds me of eastern Colorado. But this may be further out or further north, so I don't know. But it looks familiar. Lost in the City by Edward P. Jones. I read The Known World by Edward P. Jones, and it was really good. So I hope that this one is as good. It's a National Book Award finalist, so probably pretty good. They Went to Fallujah, We Went to the Open Air Mall by Daryl Holbrooks. Another indie, small pub published book, very shiny, very square. I was drawn in by the title, and it's small, so it's a bit of a risk. I almost didn't get it, but it might be good. A Guide to the Birds of East Africa by Nicholas Drayson. I'm looking forward to this one. It may be one I get to this week. Love Warps the Mind a Little by John Dufresne. The Last Days of Night by Graham Moore. I've seen this cover around, so it was familiar, but I don't know if it's something I'll like or just something that I've seen before. Zabelle by Nancy Krikorian. It's so shiny. Next time I need something that's metallic covered, this one will definitely count. It is gold all over front and back and spine. Yeah. Star of the Sea by Joseph O'Connor. Historical fiction with a boat, maybe? What Stands in a Storm by Kim Cross. Don't know why it appealed to me, just looked interesting. Utopia Avenue by David Mitchell. I've read 2 books by him now, I think. They were okay. Not amazing, but okay. But enough to read another book by him. The First 15 Lives of Harry August by Claire North. Cloning, maybe? I don't know. But it is sci-fi according to the spine. The Golden Cage by Camilla Leckberg. I really like her books, so this one I'm pleased about. The Adjacent by Christopher Priest. My sister, not the one that did the box of books, the other sister, made me read The Islanders by Christopher Priest. It was tedious, but creative. So I'm curious about this one. We Are Not Ourselves by Matthew Thomas. This one's also heavy compared to other books its size. And I think the title is really what appealed to me. But I was also trying to figure out what the cover art is depicting. Another shiny one, The Visionist by Rachel Urquhart. Ooh, shiny. This one only is shiny on the spine and the front. And one more, Jacqueline Winspear, Pardonable Lies. So I'll have to look and see if I'm missing any, because I think I own Maisie Dobbs and maybe 1 or 2 others that I got before this book haul. So I may have most of the series up to a certain point anyway. I don't know how long the series is, but enough to read quite a few before I have to stop again anyway. So then behind me, I have more books that these were all still books that I picked. So they appealed to me at the time for some reason. Got The Journey Home by Olaf Olafsson. The Story of General Dan and Mara's Daughter, Griot, and the Snow Dog by Doris Lessing. And that is the title. And it is a novel. And I've seen this title listed before, and I wasn't sure if it was actually all the title, but it is. So I'm guessing there's a dog in the book, and there's certainly a dog on the cover, so that might be useful. We Need New Names by No Violet Bulawayo. I've checked it out before, I just never got to it. On Kingdom Mountain by Howard Frank Mosher. I almost checked this one out and didn't, so now I have it. The Distance Between Us by Masha Hamilton, which is also heavier than I would expecting. Gap Creek by Robert Morgan. This one has a different cover to it too. It's a soft plastic, which is interesting. The Winter Vault by Anne Michaels. The Doctor's House by Ann Beattie. I've heard someone talk about this author before, and I don't remember who, but it was on BookTube. I know that much. Maybe not this book, but Ann Beattie for sure. This is another one that's the soft plastic. Every Day, Every Hour by Natasha Dragnik. The Dark Remains by William McIlvanney and Ian Rankin. I've got a whole bunch of Ian Rankin I plan to get to. So that's just adding to my Ian Rankin collection. Tamar, a novel of espionage, passion, and betrayal by Mal Peet. It's this weird sort of bronzy color. And it is metallic. That's fun. And it's got people going on, like, parachuting down into maybe a war zone. I'm not sure. But it's really subtle. And Second Person Singular by Syed Kashwa. So those are the bag of books that I got in days 2 and 3, mostly day 3. Maker of Swans being the one I got day 2. And then I've got 2 boxes that I haven't unpacked yet. I actually have not unpacked them at all yet. So I will see what I put in the boxes as we unbox them, because when I was making the boxes up, I was not thinking about acquiring these books. I was just putting books in boxes, and then I ended up buying 2 of them. I don't actually know which ones I ended up getting. Besides that, I got one that's cozy and one that's indie. So we will see. Alright, we're going to start with the indie books. These guys are heavy. Oh my goodness. They're way more dense, I think, than some of the other books. So, starting with the one on top, The Third Translation by Matt Bondurant. And I don't know genres on any of these. Some of them I can guess from the cover, but I could be totally wrong. The Final Quantum, a New Thought Mystery by Rosalind Webb Cady. All Fall Down by Mary Caponegro, with 3 pigeons and a water tower on a building in the distance. In the Belly of Jonah by Sandra Brannan. Long View from a Bullet Hole by Paul Ali. believe it's LV. Yeah. Milagro Lane by Jay Brandon. Maybe murder mystery? Getting that vibe. It may not be, though. The Greatest Player Who Never Lived by J. Michael Veron. A golf book. Okay. Yeah. All Things Await by Seth Klabo. Long Road to La Rosa by Paul Bagden. The Nephilim Seed by James Scott Bell. Not sure about this one. We'll find out. Love and Regret by Betty L. Alt and Sandra K. Wells. It's a very bohemian looking girl. And a tree, and maybe something in the tree. I can't tell. It's not very long, though. The Copper Trader by Bill Abler. From Whence Cometh Wars by Jonathan Almanzar. Alright. Not Far From Town, Stories from the Upper Allegheny River by Brian A. Connolly. Temporary Sanity by Rose Connors, a crime novel. That one's nice because it tells you what to expect. Thule, an Odyssey by Joseph P. Plummer. Big Frickin' Motorcycle Adventure. Something like that. This one's one where they were creative with which order the words are on the title. Dave and Suzanne's Big Frickin' Canadian Motorcycle Adventure by David P. Moore. And they got a little too creative, I think, on the title on this one, because it's really kind of hard to figure out what goes first. And it's not as legible as I would wish. But it's very colorful. The Broderick Curse by David Peretz. Maybe horror? It certainly could be. You guys don't fall over. For Honor and Love by Leroy A. Milnar. What the Rags Told Me by Vasudev Murthy. Nairobi to Shenzhen by Mark Obama DeSanjo. Yes, Mark Obama DeSanjo. There we go. Brooding by Andy Williamson. This is book 1 in the Heartland Chronicles. The Disappearing Man by Doug Peterson. Interesting. Looped by Andrew Winston, which I think that's a Ferris wheel. Ultimate Verdict, a legal thriller by Michael Winstead. Dead Ringer by Michael Thesson. Lamb Bright Saviors by Robert Vivian, with a mothership storm that might have hail in it. Yeah, I've been watching too many Storm Chasers. But yeah, that looks like hail clouds on there. Prototype, a novel by M.D. Waters. I like the cover on this one. Missing, the Sanders Saga by Suzanne D. Williams. The Sleeping Voice by Dulcie Chacon. There we go. Might move that up. And let's see. The Blue Room, autographed copy by Robert Bush. I think there might also be some other autographs in some of these, but I don't remember which ones went in the box. Jackfish, The Vanishing Village, a novel by Sarah Felix Burns. Avenged by A.R. Chandler. And last book in this box, Lord Fulgren's Letters by Randy Alcorn. So that is one of the two boxes. And then the other box should be cozies. So we'll see what's in it. Hi, dude. Are you gonna help? Yeah? Are you a helpful cat? Are you gonna help? Oh my goodness. No. Christopher is not gonna help. He has claimed the box. So, yeah. Because obviously emptying the box was so that he could get in it. Yeah. Actually, this one, the top is still an indie author book, or independent / small publishers. East Side by Caleb Alexander. So I don't know if it actually was supposed to be in the other box. Probably. And then we have some cozies. The Rockford Files, Devil on My Doorstep by Stuart M. Kaminsky. We had another Kaminsky that was in the other stuff, so it might have gotten straight out of this box. No, you cannot be on the books. I need to get in the books. Bingo's Run by James E. Levine. I'm going to pull this one aside. A Small Death in the Great Glen by A.D. Scott. Probably set in Scotland. Might have a few clues as to the Scottish nature of that book. The Consciousness Plague by Paul Levinson, which is a mystery according to the Spine. Cold Case Squad by Edna Buchanan. And Justice There Is None by Deborah Crombie. This is a Duncan Kincaid and Gemma James novel. Recipe for a Perfect Wife by Karma Brown, which does have a mystery thing on this spine. Buried by Mark Billingham, which also says it's a mystery on the spine. Sunset Limited by James Lee Burke, and has the mystery thing on the spine. Ghosts of Manhattan by Douglas Brunt. And is this a mystery? We're not sure. This one was just in with the cozies. No idea. It might have ghosts in it. Rendezvous at Kamakura Inn by Marshall Brown. Neptune Avenue by Gabriel Cohen. This one says it is a Jack Leitner crime novel. Alright, let's see if I can get this box up here so we don't have to bend so far down. Alright. And I do have one in here that I think I already own a copy of. The Agent Runner by Simon Conway. So this one is a duplicate and will be going away. Queen's Ransom by Fiona Buckley. Cold Sleep Lullaby by Andrew Brown. Probably a drowning. Yeah. Fatal Cure by Robin Cook. Mortal Fear by Robin Cook. This one's not very long. The Disappearance Boy by Neil Bartlett. Almost done. Liars All by Joe Bannister, a Brodie Farrell mystery. Lights Out by Donald Bain. The Drop Edge of Yonder by Donis Casey, which I would not have guessed is a mystery, except it does say it is on the spine. This one's also oddly heavy. And then I have one more book in the box, but only because it traveled with the books in the box. This one's one that I have on loan because one of the folks at the bookstore who does the memoirs insisted I have to read this book. So I will be reading Infidel probably in the next week so I can bring it back to her. So yeah, that's the books that have come home with me during the Bag of Books sale this spring. So I got a couple books. As I mentioned, I've finished one already. I will have finished 2 by the end of tonight. And I've set some aside over here that I'm going to try to get to next, maybe, that appeal to me or they meet certain prompts. So we'll see which one I actually end up picking up next. But I obviously have some options. Lots of murder mysteries. So I've replenished my murder mystery collection quite well at this point. And there is still one more day where I might be bringing home more books. But we'll see what's still there by Saturday. Yeah. So that could be fun. I will be going back to the bookstore tomorrow for just a normal shift. Kind of see what needs to be put back where and get tidied up after the majority of the sale. And, you know, see what's sold and what we need to figure out what to do with. And I will be mostly working in history tomorrow, probably. So, will I bring home more books tomorrow? I don't know. We'll find out. If I do, I will probably wait till next weekend to do any further haul videos, because the next time I know I might bring home more books would be Saturday. So, in the meantime, hopefully you guys are seeing some books you want to check out or that you've seen or read before and think I should read. If there's any that you want to buddy read, that you have them and we're planning on reading them soon, let me know, because I will be doing Tar next month, but that doesn't mean that I can't fit in a book alongside that, especially if it's a murder mystery or something like that. And certainly July, August, and on after that, buddy reads, yeah, I could manage that. Also, if you follow Nicole at Dusty Book Sniffers, when she does her sprints, her long midweek sprints, I'm thinking about doing something like picking a book that I start and try to finish during those sprints. This month, obviously, being a bit different with Kooky Mayhem, but when she gets back to that, that would be a good time to do a buddy read if anybody wants to buddy read something that's, 300 pages or shorter that we could do during that kind of time. Yeah, let me know. And I will be figuring out where to put all my new books. Maybe trying to organize them, especially if I try to find all the books I already have by some authors. Because I do have an extensive murder mystery collection already. I might already have more books than I think I do from some of these authors when I actually start looking at what I've got. So many books, so little time. But yeah, watch the other 2 videos if you haven't Let me know what I should be reading next. And I will see you in the next video or somewhere on somebody's sprints. And in the meantime, happy reading, everyone. Bye!